topics and opinions expressed in the following show are solely those of the host and their guests and not those of W4CY Radio, its employees, or affiliates. We make no recommendations or endorsements for radio show programs, services, or products mentioned on air or on our web. No liability, explicit or implied, shall be extended to W4CY Radio or its employees or affiliates. Any questions or comments should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for choosing W4CY Radio.
Welcome to the Ask the Expert show on W4CY Radio and Talk4 TV, where we bring you educational information from top local experts in the fields of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. Now sit back and listen to experts in family law, association law, hearing loss, business brokers, home care, along with many other topics. Now here are your hosts, Steve-O and Sophia.
Hey, good afternoon, Texas. You people in Houston, we have a great surprise for you today. You know, people have written me and said, wanting to know, do we read the emails and do we go by suggestions? We have had so many viewers and listeners write us and ask us about public adjusters. A lot of people do not know what a public adjuster is, but the reason why I said, especially today for you people in Houston, you've had some hellacious weather. And for all you homeowners out there, especially those ones who've written us saying, how come you don't have a public adjuster, or I'm having problems getting my claims taken care of. What do I do? We found, I'm telling you, the top public adjuster in the state of Texas that's going to answer all your questions today. You're going to learn how important it is if you've got any damage to your home, and especially if you're having problems with your insurance company, you're going to love today's show. Let me welcome, this is our new expert. Please welcome Ellie Haft.
Hi, Stephen. Thanks for having me.
Man, we are so glad to have you. And what I'm so excited about is you and I have a lot of things in common, especially geographically, things we've done in the past. But I got to tell you, we really screen our experts, and I feel so good about having your company, Texas Infinity Public Adjusting. I feel so good about you being our expert, especially for those people in Houston, which you're in the Houston area right now. Let's start off, Ellie, tell people about your company.
So I founded my company in 2017 after Hurricane Irma. And I was doing public adjusting for about 5 years or so prior to that for a few other companies, but I figured that was a great opportunity, to open up my own firm, and just been hitting the ground running ever since and helping policyholders maximize their insurance claims, ever since. It's kind of like David versus Goliath. I take a lot of pride in that, from my background, which I'm sure you can relate to, Steve. But it's a very rewarding job for me because I really, truly know that I'm helping people. And without my services, I see, the proof is in the pudding, 747% return. It says it right here statistically on average. I don't know if you guys can see that, but that chart speaks for itself. I tell my clients, numbers don't lie, insurance companies do. So that 747% covers my 10% for an emergency claim or my 20% for a non-emergency claim, and then some. It's not rocket science, really. It's about educating the prospective client, and that's what I'm so excited about doing with you today and for the coming year, Stephen. We fight their business model by implementing the exact opposite. Their whole business model is delay, deny, defend. There's actually a book entitled as such. And so what we do is we get them to open up coverage, we maximize that coverage, and we expedite the handling of that coverage. There's a few different methodologies that I have at my disposal in order to accomplish that goal, which we can get into as we talk more and as our listeners chime in. But that's kind of in a nutshell, the lowest common denominator is that, we get the insurance company to kind of retract their approach by knowing their modus operandi, which is to collect your premium every month. And when you do file a claim, which is what they never want, they want to either deny it or pay out the minimum. Because if they paid out $1 million every time someone filed a claim, they would go belly up and go bankrupt, right? So they're in business to make money. You're not in good hands. They're not a good neighbor. And, it's more like Snake Farm than State Farm, but that's pretty much it.
Well, we just got our first text. I'm glad you finally got a show like this on. I'm one of the people who wrote you. This is John in Friendswood, Texas. He said, I'm glad you really did read my email. I think it's so important to have a show like this on. I suffered damages 3 years ago with the rainstorm, and I got a public adjuster that really saved me. And I'm all for people understanding what public adjusters do. Thank you so much. That's our first text of your show. Tell people, we have all these homeowners, Ellie, that don't even know what a public adjuster is. So why don't you explain to them what you do?
Yeah, that's a great question. A lot of people don't know what a public adjuster is. A lot of people get it confused with an insurance adjuster. So an insurance adjuster represents the insurance carrier, and they represent the insurance company and protect their interests. I am the exact opposite of that. I am a public servant. I protect the policyholders' interests, and I always have their best interests in mind. I only make money if I make my client money, and I get paid when my client gets paid on a completely contingency basis. If I don't get my client money, I don't get any money. So our interests are in alignment. That's a big difference between an attorney traditionally and a public adjuster, because up until January of 2023, the attorney's fees would be separate and apart from the indemnity amount. Now they've changed the laws a little bit. But basically, I want to get my client as much as possible, as quickly as possible. It's pretty simple, So from that standpoint, there's no smoke and mirrors. There's no bait and switch. It's very straightforward. It's very honest. I mean, there are some horror stories that have given us a bad name. I'm not going to lie. There are some public adjusters that go and disappear on their clients. That's not me. I wouldn't be in business for 8-9 years now if that were the case. I try and take the personal attention and customer service approach to every specific client and make myself available to answer their questions, to educate them throughout the process, make them aware of their different options. It is a chess game, so as the different moves become available on the board, I educate my client and we kind of huddle up internally and discuss what the best strategy is for them, depending on their specific situation, timing, money, moving, not moving, want to get a new insurance policy. There's all different elements. So we take that into account and come up with the best possible solution. And there's no two claims that are ever the same. There's no cookie cutter approach. That's what keeps it fresh and interesting for me. And that's why I really love what I do, because it's really problem solving. with obviously, the people element of the relationships on the carrier side, managing your own client relationships, leveraging pre-existing relationships that you have with carriers and adjusters, and then reading the policies, because that's really the framework that guides how we can approach the situation. There's alternative dispute resolution, which is ADR. In lieu of litigation, there is mediation and appraisal, and sometimes arbitration. So appraisal can be invoked by either party if it's one way. If it's two-way, then both parties have to agree, and that's only once the carrier has opened up coverage. So let's say you file a claim and the insurance company responds and says that it's under your deductible. You have a $500 deductible and they're valuing the loss at $250. So they don't send you a check, but that's actually a very important first step in the right direction, because a lot of people don't know. They read that letter if they're not represented by someone like me, who knows how to interpret that letter, and they think, okay, they throw it in the garbage and they say, I tried, but the insurance company isn't going to pay, and that's the best I can do. Actually, if the policy language says that it's one-way appraisal, I, as their public adjuster, can invoke appraisal, and then that's binding. They have to agree to go to appraisal, and I can either appoint myself or an outside appraiser, and then the insurance carrier appoints an appraiser. We meet, we inspect the damage. I hold firm on my estimate. Their appraiser writes another estimate, and we try to settle it directly. If we can't settle it directly, then we will have agreed on a mutual neutral third party called an umpire, and the umpire is judge, jury, and executioner. And that is a great way, in lieu of litigation, which we all know moves at a snail's pace, and the lawyers, they want to build their bills and do their thing, and Mr. Homeowner's sitting by for years and years and, waiting for a check. The appraisal process usually settles in no more than 3 or 4 months, and that's if it goes to the umpire. If it's settled just directly by the appraisers, then it could be in a little as 1 to 2 months. And we usually get as much, if not more, than what they would get in litigation.
We have another text. Connie in Plano, Texas, wants to know, what is the difference between a public insurance adjuster and an attorney handling this?
Excellent question. So I am licensed by the Department of Insurance in Texas. I am also bonded to settle and negotiate claims on behalf of policyholders. I am not able to or legally allowed to give legal advice because I have not passed the bar exam. Only an attorney has passed the bar, and they can give you legal advice and represent you in a court of law. So I am, in layman's terms, I'm the step before an attorney. Before you go to an attorney, I am the expert witness when it does go to litigation, and oftentimes I'm deposed as such. The opposing counsel will want to depose me and say, Mr. Haft, why are you putting this line item in your estimate when, our adjuster thinks it should be DNR, which stands for detach and reset. Let's say kitchen cabinets, detach and reset. And I have R&R, which is remove and replace. And, I say, well, I have a moral and ethical obligation to write my estimate in the worst case scenario, because during the course of construction and repairs, as we all know, if you've ever redone your kitchen or built an addition on your house or had to repair your roof, oftentimes there's a lot of unknowns or hidden pillars behind a wall, or electrical outlets that you didn't know were there, and then all of a sudden you've got to pivot and deviate. So no one's going to guarantee, no contractor is going to guarantee that in the process of detaching and resetting those kitchen cabinets that they might not damage your floors. So all of a sudden I'm writing to replace your floors. because they're continuous. And by statute, by Texas statute, it's in there to protect homeowners and business owners that if a portion of the floor is damaged, the insurance company cannot just pay to replace that tile or that piece of wooden floorboard. They have to replace it all as long as it's continuous, because it wouldn't look uniform. It wouldn't look right. Same thing for paint, right? If I'm writing to repaint and refinish and retexture, one wall in the kitchen and the other walls are the same color, it wouldn't look right if one wall is brand new and the other walls are 8 years old, right? Even if it's the same color, let's say, one's going to look new and one's going to look 8 years old. So, there's tricks of the trade that I know through my industry experience that really brings a lot of value to the table, and that's what covers my 10% and then some. And 80% of my business to date, now I've started actively doing shows like this and trying to become more active in my outreach efforts. But one happy client leads to 4, 5, 6 other clients, because when something happens to their friends and family, they say, oh, call Ellie. He got me tens of thousands of dollars for a brand new kitchen. And not only that, I had thousands of dollars in my pocket on top of it after paying his fee, after the deductible and all that. So, someone who didn't know what a public adjuster was, all of a sudden they think it's the greatest thing since sliced bread.
We just got another text. This is a lot of text for the first show. This is from Yale, I guess that's his name, in San Marcos. He said, I found you on Facebook, and I'm curious, why do homeowner policies not cover termites?
So that's a good question. Termites are considered vermin, and vermin are always excluded on all policies. So termites, rodents such as rats, we all know that if they get in your attic, if termites get in, you have to tent it. So the insurance company know as well that could be a very costly repair. So they cover their rear ends and exclude that at the time that they write the policy.
Wow. Now, people, I don't know if people know this or not, because you think, public adjuster, we think hurricanes, roof leaks, but you do also smoke damage, fire damage, mold and mildew. If someone breaks into your house and causes damage, there's a lot of areas that you cover.
Absolutely. So any covered peril on that specific policy. So that's why I was saying earlier, each claim is unique, because each loss, it could be a plumbing leak, it could be a roof leak that's weather related, it could be theft, vandalism, burglary, hail, tornadoes, hurricanes. I heard of a guy named Beryl recently that rummaged through Houston. Has anybody heard of him? So the first part of my service always includes a free consultation, and that includes a policy evaluation, where I recommend that if they can get the full policy electronically, they email it over to me so I can review. And by the way, if you don't have a copy electronically, you can call up your agent and not mention anything about filing a claim or damages or anything. Just simply, I want a certified copy of my full policy electronically via email, not direct mail. I want it electronically, and by law, they are required to send it to you within 24 hours. You can call your insurance agent, the person who you purchased the policy from, or the carrier directly. And then when you send me that full policy, I can go through and review, and then also, come and inspect your damage. The consultation includes a property damage assessment. Let's say you want to expedite it. You're located 4 or 5 hours away. We all know Texas is quite a large geographic area. If you can take some photographs and include that in the email with your policy and a brief description of the damaged areas, the cause of loss, the date of loss, and any details that would be relevant, then I can, assess the situation, either physically or electronically, and give you my opinion, if I think it's a viable loss. And if I don't think so, I don't want to waste my time or your time. And, I say whether or not we think it's something we should pursue or not.
Here's another text this is from LaFay in Huntsville, Texas. Great show. Thank you for bringing this show, and you're expert. Can you give out the phone number? The phone number is 832-698-6031. For those of you who are watching on YouTube, you can see we scroll the number as well as the website. For those of you listening on radio or podcast, again, it's 832-698-6031. The name of the company is Infinity Public Adjusting LLC. We will be doing this show every month now because this is definitely the season. Like I said, we're so lucky to find Ellie. And Ellie, we've got a couple minutes left. Tell people why they should hire your company.
Well, that's a great question. I am confident that when anyone retains me, they will feel that they're being represented as if I'm their family member, or I'm representing a member of my family, because I take the personal attention to each and every client as if they were my family. There's no favorites, there's no claim, regardless of value, that is more important or less. I give every client the same attention to detail, the same customer service. I will not rest until we get to a point where we either have a decision from the insurance carrier, a coverage determination that is within the 90-day coverage determination window, and then I put it to the point of, hey, either we have a settlement offer, we can invoke appraisal, we can go to mediation, or we can kick it to an attorney. And we lay those options on the table, and then it's up to the client. I am not here to make decisions for my clients. I am here to educate my clients and give them the proper ammunition to make a knowledgeable and educated decision that they feel is best for them. I don't try to influence them one way or another. Obviously, if the timing works out and we can pursue it, to get the most amount of money possible, great. Sometimes it doesn't always work out that way, and that's okay too, because I'm here for your long-standing business, for the holistic perspective. I'm not here to make as much money as possible on one claim. I want to make sure that my clients come away happy and feeling positive about the situation. There are a lot of things that are beyond my control. And a lot of times the insurance companies play games, like I said, delay, deny, defend, and they test mine and my clients' tenacity. So it is a long game. It is a long haul. And I try to educate my clients of that at the beginning of the process, that it is just that. It is a process. But, some people have it in them and some people don't, and it's not for everybody. And that's okay. That's life, but I'm here to offer my support and advice. And, I put together an estimate that I think represents, like I said, the worst case scenario and the maximum of value that we can possibly claim for that specific date of loss and cause of loss. And then what the insurance company does with that, as I mentioned, is out of my control. But then we have different methods in place to fight for my clients' rights to get the best possible result.
Well, Ellie, I told you these shows go by fast. Thank you so much. You'll be back with us again next month with more. God, we had so many questions and so many people having questions. It does go by fast. The phone number is 832-698-6031. The name of the company is Infinity Public Adjusting LLC. Ellie, I'm glad we've got you, and we'll see you again next month.
Glad to be here. Thanks for making me a part of the Ask the Experts family.
Thank you. And we're going to go to a quick break, and then we have our next expert coming up. Another really exciting show. We'll be right back.
And we are back with the Ask the Expert show on W4CY Radio and Talk4 TV with your hosts, Steve-O, Sophia, and their expert guests.
We are back. This is the Ask the Expert show. This is our 12th year. 12 years we've been doing this now. And our next show is probably one of the most important shows that we do. I am actually, listen, we've done all kinds of weight loss shows, but this one is really important because a lot of people are hearing about, I call it the skinny injection, and they have so many questions. I am actually on it, and I got to tell you, I've lost 30 pounds. I have never lost 30 pounds doing anything, but we found one of the greatest companies that specializes in these injections. You're going to learn so much about them today. Let me welcome the New Hope Company with Fred Schmidt. Hello, Fred.
There you are. Well, happy Wednesday.
Same to you. Fred, I got to tell you, I think I love doing this show so much because what you do really changes a person's life. This is not an advertisement. This is something that I know it's changed my health. I can't believe that insurance companies do not pay for this because it would save them so much in the long run. But first of all, tell everybody about your company first.
Well, thanks for having me on the show. Always great to be with you and your audience, and especially to know that you're not only a radio host and great personality, but you're on the medication. What we provide is semaglutide and tirzepatide. Now, they go under names. Semaglutide's known as Ozempic or Wegovy, and tirzepatide is known as Mounjaro. Both of these are game changers in the weight loss arena. I mean, there are over 2 million people on these medications, and we have over 3,500 patients.
Wow.
Yep. And these patients we're seeing dramatic changes, weight loss, anywhere from 5 pounds in 3 months to 70 pounds in 3 months. So, I mean, it's all over the board, but the medication's used as a tool, and that's specifically what it is. It's just one of the tools. I mean, you still have to watch what you eat smart, and exercise. But for a lot of us, it's easy to say those things, and not always easy to do.
What blows me away, I know you've heard this, is before I started on this, I'm embarrassed to say I could take a medium pizza and eat the whole thing. I couldn't do a large, but a medium pizza. Now I look at it and I can barely do 2 slices.
Yeah.
It's amazing how it works on your head.
Yeah, you know what? It's receptors, it's a protein, a peptide, and that's the beauty of it. As you know, it was originally for insulin for diabetics. So they found that there's an ingredient that was helping diabetics lose weight, and they transformed it and got the FDA to look into what that ingredient was, and it's semaglutide. And that semaglutide does a number of things. One of the main things that it does is appetite suppressant. So, like you say, hey, I could sit down and eat a whole pie by myself, and I'm a foodie too, and brought up with the clean your plate attitude. So, what this does for me is, if you overeat, you can still overeat with this medication, but you get a spanking. You get a real spanking.
Yes.
And so I don't want that feeling. The feeling of fullness that you get after you eat a big meal. This happens very quickly with this medication. So if you're not careful, you can actually get to a point where I'm afraid to eat too much, because I know the result will be that a horrible. Take that full feeling, multiply it times 5, and that's what you're going to feel. So it's quite a deterrent. Quite a deterrent.
I got to tell you, we started promoting your show last week, and I'll bet you 75% of the questions were about side effects. And
Yeah.
I've got to tell you, I've read about the side effects. I, started off with the 0.25, then went to 0.5, and now I'm on 1. Fred, I have not had any side effects at all. Nothing.
Oh, yeah. Well, you're fortunate, because they can't, everybody's different. Everybody's different. I'm like you, don't suffer from many of the side effects. One of them I do get is the constipation, because what the medication does is it stays in your stomach longer. So keeping that full feeling. That's why you don't have an appetite. You eat one meal and it stays with you. So, but I found, over-the-counter medications, I use one called Colon, COLON, Cleanse, and it with a Z, and it's cheap. It's all probiotics, all natural, and it works great. There's another side effect is nausea, but that's for some people only in the beginning. That's why there is, like you said, 0.25, a drop for the first month. You're just getting acclimated to the medication, and then you titrate up slowly. And when you titrate up slowly, you can bypass a lot of that. There is, and if you do get nausea, there's medication, Zofran. There's little things that you can do on your own. Even the seasickness medication,
like Dramamine.
Dramamine, yeah, geez.
Yeah.
Dramamine, and that can actually take away the nausea. So nothing that an over-the-counter medication can't take care of. But the side effects of not doing the medication and having weight far outweigh a little nausea, my friend.
Absolutely. So tell people the progress. How does it work? First of all, give us the phone number.
Yes. It is an 800 number. It's 1-800-527-2150. And we're with your audience, we will give a promo code. So when the process is to go to our website, which is newhopeweightloss.net, not .com, newhopeweightloss.net, NET. And there's a get started on your journey. And when you start on your journey, there's a intake form, which is your name, address, weight, height, and medical history. On there, it gives you a place to put a promo code. Put Experts 50, and we'll give you $50 off of the already low price of $255. So,
and that's a good price too.
Very affordable. We wanted it to be affordable. Ozempic, $1,700 a month. So we're a fraction of the cost with a better medication, in my opinion, because it's a high concentration.
Call you up, Fred. What's the next step?
Oh, go to the website, start the journey, fill out the intake. That intake form is like you're walking into a doctor's office. Once you submit that intake form, you go to an advisor will reach out to you if you have any questions. Other than that, a doctor will call you. within 24 to 48 hours. And he already has your intake in front of him, so you're more than likely pre-approved. Everyone gets approved unless you have one of these three, neoplasia 1 or 2. And if you don't know what that is, you don't have it. Thyroid cancer. And if anybody in your family immediate family has thyroid cancer, you can't use it. Or you're pregnant, breastfeeding, and a certain BMI. Obviously, we've had people that are skinny and want to get skinnier. This is really what we're looking for, people who are overweight. So with the BMI over 28. Then, once you get approved, you order the medication and we'll ship it, Steve, right to their front door in a small cooler. They'll get 3 months worth of medication in one shipment.
And they get, by using the promo code, they get $50 off
their first payment, which brings it down to $50 off, and then after that is $255 a month.
There's about 4 or 5 pharmaceutical companies that manufactures. Who do you like the best?
We are a manufacturer as well. We are actually a compound pharmacy. We compound our own medication, but there are a number of compounders, probably about 10 in the country. And then, but what you're looking for is compounded semaglutide. Now, our version of semaglutide is different than what a lot of people are selling online, and you'll call. What they're selling is a small vial, 1 ml, and it has 2.5 worth of semaglutide in that 1 ml. Ours is 5 milligrams of semaglutide in each ml. So it's double the strength, which means more effective. So it's hard.
And
you really got to compare apples
to
apples, Steve, when it comes to medications, and you follow our protocols, and you'll be well on your journey to weight loss. And as you know, there are many benefits to losing weight. It's not even an aesthetic thing now. It's completely the fact that your blood pressure, cholesterol, diabetes, your A1Cs go down.
Apnea.
Yeah. You know, even people that have a low BMI can sometimes get this medication if they have high blood pressure, cholesterol, and they're pre-diabetic. We'll make exceptions depending on the person's health.
What is, I'm under a doctor's care, is the reason I got it. And I was told to do the injection in my stomach. But the commercials I see on TV always show them injecting into their leg. What do you say?
I like the stomach. It is subcutaneous. And the injection itself, you will not feel it. You know, a lot of people are saying, I can never give myself an injection. Yeah. But if you feel this injection, you're doing something wrong.
Yeah. Very good.
It is.
I like hate shots, Fred.
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah. A lot of people do, but believe me, you will not feel it. It's subcutaneous.
You do not.
It's just beneath the skin. And you can put it in your stomach, in your thigh, in your arm, because it gets into your system almost just through the skin.
Fred, I got to tell you, the first time I gave myself the injection, I had to look to make sure I injected myself. You don't feel it at all.
Yep. Patients come into our office and they say, "That's it? Are you kidding me? That was it?" And it's once a week. So you pick a time once a week.
I know working out and having a good diet, I got to tell you, because my schedule is so hectic that I don't have a lot of time to work out, and I still don't eat as well as I should, and I've still lost 30 pounds. That's amazing.
Yeah. No, it's a multi-pronged approach. If you can work out, great. You still have to be smart with what you eat. And there are some foods when you're on this medication that will really repulse you. I mean, there are certain fried foods I can't even smell it, much less eat it. So
Yeah.
there are certain things that when you're on the medication, you run from. So I've
think,
had
and
wonderful
also,
experience, mate.
yeah, and again, I'm under a doctor's care, but I got to tell you, your prices are incredible. And, if someone wants to order from you rather than going to their pharmacy, that's a great way to do it. I have a lot of people, I said, wanted to know about side effects, and I think we've answered that. What about when you reach your goal, Fred? What do you do?
Great question. Great question. And let's say that you're on it for your 3 months, you lose your 30, 60 pounds, you're at your goal weight, and you feel like you're starting to get hungry again. You can always reorder. It doesn't require a new prescription or anything. You just call us, reorder a new vial. Now, this second vial will last you a lot longer, because when you're doing a maintenance injection, you can do it once every 2-3 weeks. That's what I'm on now. You don't have to do it weekly. So one vial can last you a lot longer. And when you feel yourself getting silly with maybe getting back to your old eating habits or whatever, you can apply the medication and get right back, because again, it triggers and signals to your brain that full feeling. And that will completely stop you from, and there's a number of reasons. Once you do lose a lot of weight, believe me, you recognize the benefit immediately, not only in your looks, clothes are looser, but you realize it in the fact that, hey, you can now do exercise. Now I can take a walk. Now my knees don't hurt. My joints don't hurt. So the benefit,
Hey, Fred,
you realize,
you'll have a new driver's license picture taken.
yeah, you might need to get a new driver's license picture taken. Exactly. Now,
Exactly.
we intend to bring out a whole list of different medications that you'll be able to order from us going forward, whether it's supplements to supplement. And we find that it is a journey, and losing weight, part of it, but getting well. I mean, that's why we call it New Hope, to just provide new hope for people who want to live a good quality life, tired of the sluggish feeling, carrying around that extra weight can do. And you're going to see an amazing amount of energy and self-esteem, of course.
Can you share with us some of your new products that are coming out?
Yeah, well, we recently rolled out a amazing supplements program, and it's not like your regular supplements program. And when you go to our website, you'll see it's called the DNA test. And what you do is we send you to your house an envelope, and inside the envelope is Q-tips. These Q-tips are medicated. You rub them on your cheek and put them inside the vial, close the vial, put it in a self-addressed envelope, and put it in the mail, and it comes to our lab. Once we get it, we give you a 20-page report of your DNA biomarkers. What this will allow you to do is find a supplements plan that is configured and customized to you. So, Steve, there's 400 million combinations of DNA, but there's only one Steve. So
Right.
Why take vitamins? For example, I did my DNA test, and one of the vitamins that my body will not absorb was vitamin D.
Whoa.
Strangest thing. Vitamin D. So now my supplements, and they come coated. Let me show you. They come coated, so they come like this with your name on it. So it's barcode exactly made out to you.
Wow.
So this is customized. And you take that along with the weight loss, because when you're not eating, you need to supplement the fact that you're not eating any longer with supplements. And these supplements,
does it measure
the way it works,
hormone deficiency?
what's that?
Does it measure hormone deficiency?
It measures 90 various biomarkers, everything you can imagine. The report is very comprehensive, and it comes in English. It's not in medical terms. So it's very easy to read and say, wow, I didn't realize that my DNA, my particular heritage just doesn't work with this vitamin or that vitamin. I need to use this or that. And we give you a customized bio supplements each month. And it's right now we're running a special. It's $297 for the DNA test, and then it's $187 for the for a 2-month supply of supplements. So every 2 months.
What a great idea.
Oh yeah, it's everything you need. Everything you need in one bottle. Custom fit for you with your name on it.
Is it easier for them to go to your website or to call you?
To call or go to the website. Of course, to call, it's again 1-800-527-2150. That's 800-527-2150. And just ask for the DNA kit or weight loss, or you can go to our website at newhopeweightloss.net, N-E-T. That's newhopeweightloss.net, N-E-T.
Well, Fred, I am so glad that we have you. There's so many questions out there, and I know from the letters we're getting, people are still a little bit nervous about it. I'm telling you, I'm on the product myself. I endorse New Hope, and Fred will be back again with us next month. Fred, thank you, and Tony, so much.
Absolutely. Use that promo code EXPERTS50 and take advantage of that $50 off while it lasts.
Thanks again. That's New
All right,
Hope
Steve.
Wellness. Thanks, Fred. That wraps it up for us today. We'll be back again with you next week with more. We always have the greatest experts on. We'll see you next week.
Thanks for tuning in today to the Ask the Expert show on W4CY Radio and Talk4 TV. Tune in next week and every week to hear more from our experts on personal injury, insurance, air condition repairs, estate planning, Medicare, and many other topics in the areas of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. See you next week.